Recording in progress.
All right, that's the universal sign that time to start our community council meeting. Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel Tuutau. I'm the chair of the community council. I'm glad so many people are able to make it out today. Shout out to the event that just happened. We will hear from the artists a little bit later in the meeting, but we had a community bike ride sponsored by the Salt Lake City Arts Council in collaboration with Transportation, along with Poplar Grove Community Council, in riding over the 400 South Viaduct and seeing the artwork that we'll be hearing about a little bit later today in our meeting. I want to make a shout out to the community council board members that are present here. We have Jason, Dan, Karen, Kendall, Ben. Missing anyone else? Uh, and so shout out to the people that are online. We only have one, but I was making sure someone logged on so that we know that the Zoom is working. So I'm glad we're able to have that. And also, this meeting, as you just heard, is being recorded. We put all of our meetings up onto our YouTube channel. So if you want to know what's going on, we actually had someone contact me about, oh, did so and so present? And I was able to look back and I was like, oh, yeah, it was March. A meeting at 1 hour and 28 minutes. You can see the person presenting at the thing. So, anyways, we're glad you're all able to be here with us today. To start off our meeting, we like to start with sort of community organizations and city groups. And so I don't think we have anyone from the fire here right now, but we do have our police department here. So I'll turn the time over to Detective Oliver.
Well, place of fire not being here. Um, any questions, concerns, anything you're seeing in your neighborhood that needs to be brought up and discussed real quick? Yes.
Yeah, I look out my kitchen window and on the trail right off Forest South,
Uh-huh.
that picnic table. Why we think there's drug dealing happening there.
Okay, 4 South off the trail, the picnic table. This side of 4 South or north side of 4 South?
It's the
So south side of 4 South?
Yeah, it's just up. Yeah, right off the.
Bike squad just left the Pioneer Precinct, so I'll let them know to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
If you're seeing it, please call me. I'll give you my cell phone number if anybody wants to write it down. It's 385-549. Sorry. I'm fast. 385, and I think it's on the website too. But 549-9262, and that's myself. So it goes right to me. There's no desk phone.
What's your name?
Eldon, sorry, Detective Oliver. Yeah. Yep. And I'm Jason.
I just would like to say something. If you send him a text, sometimes he's working nights.
That's
So
true.
he might not get back to me for a day.
So you text do work better because one, I can follow it and kind of track what's going on because I do get kind of swamped in some things. So if you send me a text, mention what it is, and then we go from there, then it's a whole lot easier. Jason's memorized everything about it now. Yeah. So yeah.
Just a random one. There's kids that have like their little mosquito bikes or whatever they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it, but it doesn't matter. But they're on the Jordan River Trail where dogs are, bikes are, like bicycles and
Yeah.
stuff. So I feel like that's illegal, but
It is, and the state has cracked down also on the motorcycles, the pedal bikes. They've changed their definition of electric bikes, so that's going to be something we're trying to hit a little bit harder. So yeah, we know that those are. In fact, I think just before I left Pioneer, there was 3 calls in the queue of motorcycles on the parkway.
the little, like the ones that
Yeah, the little electric
roads,
bikes.
right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Can they be on the road?
Yes, depending on how fast they are, how many CCs they are, and if they have a helmet. So there's a whole bunch of different restrictions that the state has put out, and you can get onto their website and it tells you exactly what you can and can't be riding around on. So if it's a pedal, if it actually has pedals,
Yeah.
then there's a lot less restrictions than if it doesn't have pedals. So, which is crazy, even though
It's
it's
weird. They're like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And they're on the road in the country.
yeah, and they're pretty fast bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about those that loud group of motorcyclists that go up and down 400 South?
That's the one. That's what
Oh, they-
gas power.
No,
So-
these are
Like,
runners.
So is that part of that
Yeah.
the motorcycle group that just destroyed all of downtown? I don't know if you heard about that. So we have I don't know, 6 months, there's a big group of motorcyclists that come through and just absolutely destroy, drive through red lights and all. It gets crazy. So it might be part of that group. If it's bullet bikes, they're probably heading out to the races out in the west. If they're coming back in, that's probably what they're going to. But yeah, Yeah.
Well,
It shakes our house.
and they're doing stuff on the road that it's off. They're doing spinning around.
Donuts and yeah.
There's safety issues.
So the state also kind of not restricted, but they are a little bit more proactive on that too. If you catch them doing a wheelie, you can take their motorcycle, seize it. So it's kind of things like that are a little bit more restrictive. So we are, yeah, trying to
Can
enforce
we
that a
do
little
that?
bit more. It might be helpful for us. Yeah, I think you had a question. Yeah.
Yeah, what's the latest with the area around Altoview Apartments and Folsom Trail and 200 South, that whole block there?
So that is one of our hot spots in the city.
Yeah.
That especially the 200 South side. Well, all the way from 800 West to the 200 South side. That is one of the hot spots, and we put our bike squad. I was wondering if Sergeant Austin was going to come in tonight, but I put the bike squad's been pretty active there. They're getting multiple arrests out of there a day. Yeah, you'll see a lot of it's well, not a lot of, but most of it's going to be undercover stuff. So you won't know who's a police officer, who's not. That's just safety issues.
Okay. And I'm the guy who asked you about the no trespassing. If you want to cover that now,
Yeah.
I can catch you after. if you
No,
want to talk
sure.
about
Just
that.
real quick, it's sorry. No trespassing affidavits. The city prosecutor's offices come up with a no trespass affidavit to help the police department. Normally, if you have a trespass sign on your property, usually businesses, but on your private property, private's a little bit easier to control than business property. But if you have a no trespass sign on your property and you go through the normal way we would do it is you'd call us, we'd come down, we'd find that person on your property, we'd kick them off, say you are not allowed, you've been trespassed. We have to catch them again on the property in order to cite them. Okay, this affidavit is kind of bypass that first step. So if you fill out the, you catch them on the property, and then they can be cited or arrested right then. So that's kind of bypassed that whole waiting process. The affidavit's free. It's good for 5 years. You just have to update it. And you know, especially if it's a business, we want to know who the business is in there. So that when it comes to court, that's what the affidavit's for. The only thing we require is there's a sign that our police officers know that it's on an affidavit. So as they're driving down the street and they see someone and they see that sign, now that they know it's not on an affidavit, they can be proactive. Okay. That's the only issue. I hate to sell the signs. That's the city. The city sells those signs.
And they're kind of big.
They're huge. They're 1 foot by 2 foot metal sign. It's not a little sign, and it's got the code on it. It's colored. I think there's actually might be one out on the front of this building, but yeah, that's the no trespass affidavits. So if you have a business, or a lot of people are putting them on their private residence too. Private residence is a whole lot easier to control as far as the private property owner than it is a business. Good question. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of sidebar off of this. I don't know what the rule is, and you may know better than me. What is like if you're just like a backyard fence, and like if somebody just like walks back there, like the gas company, so they're with the city, just like opened the gate and head back there the other day. What is like? Can you tell somebody like no? Like what does that look like?
So yes, you can. It's your private property, but there are some what's it called? Like some places that they can access for the gas companies. One has access to the right.
Oh,
For me, I think it would be better to knock before you go into somebody's backyard.
allowed to technically just come back and check the gas spots.
Yeah, to check the gas, the meters.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if it's a city employee, city employees aren't necessarily allowed on your property without permission. So if it's code enforcement or something like that, you need to have permission. Or they need to have permission.
Yeah. Oh, that was me.
It's usually Rocky Mountain Power or somebody. Yeah.
What about if the gate has a lock? Because I have my gates locked, both. I mean,
Yeah.
they can cut it.
No.
Oh,
No. And they can't jump your fence. So if it's locked and stuff, that is secure. So if somebody's jumping your fence, call us. Even if it's a Rocky Mountain Power or Enbridge Gas and they jump your fence, call us, please. Yeah. Yeah. No property damage at all. So don't, yeah. Nope. Yeah.
What can I do? I have an alley behind my house that is now become a human feces infested, and because there's people living in a shed. That there's no water, who can I call to get help?
Code enforcement. Call code enforcement first. We'll go out with code enforcement to make sure that building's secure. But yeah, that's absolutely a code enforcement issue that you can call.
It's a shed in somebody's backyard. They're allowing.
Oh, somebody else's backyard still. That's a code enforcement violation. You can't have anybody living in on outbuilding that doesn't have water or sewer.
Nothing, so they're just,
Now, here's an interesting thing with the alleyways. There has been some people in the Rose Park area that have requested ownership of the alleys, and they've gone through some paperwork, and they have acquired those alleys.
Dean
So-
Dillon put a garage entrance in the back of it, so you can't go there.
Still try and push it through the city. Because that, I mean, helps us out a ton, because those alleys are a pain in the butt.
Then we just get to move our property, because we technically own half the property of the alleyway.
Yeah.
So we just get to extend our fence the other
And
side.
the other one would extend. I don't know how that exactly works, but I would call the mayor's office.
You have to get so they call it an abatement for the alleyway, but you have to basically, unfortunately, get everyone on the street to sign on. The city used to do this more often, but they kind of stopped because, for example, maybe you get the abatement, but then you don't close off the alley, then it doesn't belong to the city, but the people haven't done anything with it, so it gets kind of becomes a gray area. So it's harder to do to get the alleyways taken away completely. I mean, you can theoretically, but the alleyways are owned by the city right now. I mean, we have that every so often, especially far out to the west. We'll get an abatement of some land that no one's using, that kind of thing. But they used to happen more often, but again, it's been a little bit hesitant. You have to go through this whole process. But you basically need everyone on your whole block to sign on that they're going to be taking control of their side of the alleyway so that you can actually do that. Because if there's only one or two, right, you get this weird blocked off alleyway kind of thing. So
Yeah, you won't solve
Exactly.
those to people.
but we can put code enforcement information. I'm taking some notes about what to put in the recap email that we send out after the meeting, and we'll put code enforcement. We'll look up their information, try to put that in that recap email.
If people are living in those alleys, that's still city property, so call it.
Yeah, there's a mattress laid out.
Yeah. And we can come and
That's
clean it
in
up.
addition to the shed.
Yes. If they're in the alleyway, call us. Call 799-3000. We'll come out and look at it. Enforce it. We can get some of that garbage picked up too.
But they also call the Department of Health if there's like
If there's feces, the
Feces.
Department of Health, yeah. We also have within the rapid intervention teams, they have some ability to clean up some human waste, bio waste as well.
Travel a lot, but I'm just, it's not.
What?
It's my property technically, but at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, good questions tonight. That's best. I don't even have to go through the numbers. Our crime map, just so you know, on the SLCPD website, the crime map is up and working, and it's pretty cool. So you can narrow it down to your community council. You can actually put your address in, and I think it will populate the crimes that occurred within and around your area.
Who could we talk to about getting one of those no trespass for the alleyway here?
So if it's still a city property, you're not going to be able to get no trespass on it. But if you do take ownership of it, then you can fence it. But that is, you're gonna have to go through the paperwork for that. But yeah, it's hard to get no trespasses on public property. Yeah.
If there's a public utility that goes down the alleyway, like a sewage line, does that stop people from getting the abatement for the alleyway?
It's a good question. I'm willing to bet it does. But I don't know if there's a lot of that out here. Is there? I know.
There's in my alley.
Is there? It's still worth trying. It's still worth contacting the city to see what the process is to do it. Because I mean, technically, you do have sewers going through your own private property anyway, or pipes. Just a good question to go and see. Any other questions? Just real quick, we have our top offenders. These are always fun for me to look at. This year we've had our number one in repeat offender has been issued 30 misdemeanor citations and booked into jail 4 times. Our number 2 has been 16 misdemeanor citations and 4 jail bookings. Those are just the top 2. We have 3 that are tied for third place. Third place, they got the bronze. 19 and 18 misdemeanor citations with a couple of jail bookings. So we do have a lot of repeat offenders that are taking a lot of time or resources as far as the department's concerned.
And what is the time frame of this, like?
Up to this month. So yeah.
Like
So what is it?
to this month?
No.
This year?
Start January to what are we in here?
That's what the question was.
May. Yeah, January to May. And then we look at the crime stats for Poplar Grove neighborhood. We have had 18 violent offenses we're in April. So we're last month, right? Yeah, last month. So we had 18 violent offenses in this area. We had 4 robberies, 5 aggravated assaults, and 6 domestic violence cases. And that is For a question?
I was going to, but never mind.
Oh, if I don't answer it, then yell at me. That is actually up from last year. We're up 17% from last year, and over a 3-year average, we're actually up 31.2% in the Poplar Grove area. For now, it's crazy because the city's down about 17% crime wise, but we just saw an explosion. It looks like this last month around this area. So non-criminal offenses, property offenses, we've had 54. We are averaging usually 74 for a 3-year average. So we're down quite a bit of that. And most of those are vehicle thefts right now. We've got 33 vehicle thefts last month. And that, believe it or not, is down from 45 over a 3-year average. So property wise, we're seeing a decline. Violence wise, we're seeing an increase. So that's what our months are, our numbers are for April.
Can like pinpoint why it's going up here and down in other places?
I don't know. It might be more of the trail access. We are seeing the same type of crimes up on North Temple area around the trail. That's one of the focus areas. We put a lot of our bike cops, green space officers is along that trail. It could Poplar Grove's kind of not sheltered, but it does go clear out west as well. So we are seeing some of the industrial area crimes added to that. So yeah, I can't really pinpoint as to why, but that could be one of the reasons.
Could it be Alphaview?
How many are,
Yeah, it actually could be
does it say how many of those are repeat?
offenders.
Yeah.
If I broke it down, I could probably get who the repeat offenders are. But if as far as again, it depends on if an arrest is made, whether we know if it's a repeat offender or not. If it's not an arrest that we have on like a burglary, we're not going to know who it is until it's actually taken to court. But
We got curfews for kids.
curfews?
Yeah.
I don't think we have any curfews in the city. We have curfews on the trail and we have curfews on the parks, but I don't know that we have curfews, which could be fun this summer. But yeah, I don't think we have any curfews outside of the cities and park or the parks and the trail.
That'd be a good idea. It's what's going around the country with kids that are, yeah,
We
mom
do
and dad
see-
know- or moms don't know where their kids are.
Yep.
There's got to be accountability.
We do see a lot of I don't want to say riots, but we do have a lot of congregating, especially on the West Industrial area of street racers, and that's the younger group. And it has come into the city with the collective. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a group of bicyclists and the motorcycle group that comes through. So yeah, that's up to the city. I don't see anybody from the mayor's office. Yeah.
For the aggravated assaults, is there a specific group that's targeted, like women or anything like that?
When I've looked at this number, mostly it's the homeless population on the homeless population. So a lot of that, if they want to become a victim, that's where most of those aggravated assaults are.
Okay.
So there are some outside of that, but most of those are going to be on the homeless community themselves. Yeah.
Great. All right. Thanks, Detective
Yeah.
Oliver.
Thanks for the question.
If you ever have more concerns, we put his contact information in the recap. And if you're not on the recap, go to poplargroveslc.org and you can sign up right there to get onto our mailing list for the recap. We basically only send like a reminder that the meeting's happening and a recap afterwards and maybe another one in the middle. We don't spam you very much there. So awesome. I don't think we have our reps here. Mayor's office. Is Alicia in here yet?
I saw Alicia, but then she said that she had to go get something.
Okay.
Right? So
We might come back. Maybe she forgot her slides, which great. Alejandro, no. All right. All right, our partners. We have a few partners here. Maybe we'll start. Are you reporting on NeighborWorks or just viewing?
I'm just here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm also on the board of NeighborWorks. NeighborWorks Salt Lake, the organization, they're located up in the, right in kind of Fair Park, Guadalupe, Capitol. It's kind of in that gray area over there. But their main goal and purpose is sort of building homes for people and keeping people in homes. So they have a Paint Your Heart Out event that they do every year that I think signups are currently open for that. On their website, you can find out more information. But one exciting thing that they had is in our neighborhood, NeighborWorks just did groundbreaking on Maltaire Lanes, a housing development that's going to be on the corner of 1000 West and 200 South. It's the old location of the Maltaire Lanes bowling alley and the side pocket. Was that the pool hall that was attached to it? But it's going to be a 13 unit ownership situation there. They have two of the units will be 80% of median household income, and the other one's 120% cap to create generational wealth through home ownership. So a lot of good stuff happening with NeighborWorks. They frequently have training programs for the youth, YouthWorks, and also what's the one for adult training? CareerWorks. So again, it's easier to stay in a house if you can make it money and pay for the house. So they also do job training for young people. I have one son that went through it and a current son that's in it right now. So they have cohorts every so often for that. So if you know youth that are looking, basically it's like job training where they get paid. So I had my 15-year-old go through it and he was excited to have his first job to get paid to learn how to get jobs. So it was a really great program. So awesome. Good stuff going on in NeighborWorks. Library.
Yeah.
You want to come up and stand up here?
Hi, I'm Gracie from the Chapman Library. We're just promoting our summer reading program, and I just wanted to let you know that it's starting May 30th and it ends August 1st. And what we want to do is we want to get everybody to sign up. We have sign-ups for everyone, adults, kids, pre-readers, the babies. So this year they created the pamphlets are really cool. These are your trackers. So the pre-readers, the 0 to 5, get a tracker, and the rest, like the 5 to adult, elderly, can get another one. And how this works is they read through the summer, and they also do activities. They get for the older ones, they can do 18 of the reading spots. So how it works, you just open up the map, and this year is Unearth a Story, which is about dinosaurs. And if you want to visit the Chapman Library, we just remodeled it with dinosaur designs, and it's really nice for the kids. We just want to make it, we just want them to still keep reading through the summer because some of them get behind. So we just want to give them incentives while they're reading and also programming. Very cool programming. We have the ballet coming. We have the Scales and Tails, reptiles coming. So those are some of them. So we have the adults participating as well. We sign up. Prize would be this time we're giving seeds so they can plant their own seeds as a sign up prize. So this is the map, and they just kind of go through the map by if they do an activity, they just mark one of the little one of them has paws and the other one has books, and so on. And in the middle, you come to the library and get a prize. And there's fabulous prices, and the books are amazing. So everybody can sign up, and also online you can go to Beanstalk and sign up. You can also download the QR codes to see all the prices. So they get on the first is the seeds to start, and then they go all the way to the end. And then when they bring, or you guys bring your booklet, then we can sign you up for a grand prize. There's like 3 baskets for each group of ages, and you sign up, and they're amazing prices. The adults, I think they get a lot of cards, like for like a gift card for something. But we just want the kids to come, and now we have 9 libraries throughout the city that you can visit, and they're doing it May 30th, so you can sign up and also come and visit the branches. That would be one of the activities that you can mark off, which is easy. So does anybody have any questions for me? Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Anything from Neighborhood House?
Hi, everybody. I don't know if you talked to Jenny when you came in, but we're doing our kind of stakeholder feedback for our strategic plan for this upcoming 3-year cycle starting in 2027. So please fill one out if you haven't. We'd love to hear from you. And we also have our summer celebration coming up on June. Oh, here's Jenny, who's doing the survey. So she didn't catch you. On June 12th, it's a summer celebration. It's from 4:30 to 6:30, and it's for the entire community. And I've probably seen the chaos if you haven't been over, but come on over. And we've got a lot of fun things going on. And I think that's probably about it, unless anyone has any questions about anything.
Thanks.
So, yeah,
And we're also June 12th.
Friday. Yeah.
We always like to thank them for hosting us here at this great space. I think we have anyone in Salvation Army, Unity Center. So we'll keep on rolling. Fisher Mansion, anything?
I don't know if anybody attended the Fisher display that we had down at Fisher Brewery last week, but the architects gave a really fabulous kind of slideshow of all the things that are being done interior as well as exterior. So if you've been by the mansion, it still will kind of look the same, but a lot of work is being done on the interior right now. Every single little crack is being addressed. Yeah.
Great.
And the roof is just about done. Yeah.
And I didn't get an official notice about it, but I think they're doing a Jordan River Trail cleanup at the Fisher Mansion on June 13th.
Yes. Sorry about that.
So I don't have a graphic for that, but I just saw that. Well, what we do have is on Poplar Grove on our website, we have an events page and we try to add some of these events. So that'll be an event that'll be added in there as well. There's not a lot on there because we don't do a ton, but great. We're always excited for Fisher Mansion stuff. Some updates. Mural, you want to take the lead on talking about this?
Pretty much ready to go on this. If anybody wants to come volunteer this weekend, we're power washing the wall on Saturday, and then gonna be priming, students and volunteers. And then also potentially, if people are at the event on June 12th, we are gonna be painting into that evening. So if people are on their way out and you want to just send them down the trail to us to come pick up a paintbrush or check out where we're at mural, would love that. But there's a new sign up link there, and it's a big wall. We've got like 900 square feet to cover. So if we can get some volunteers, send your friends, come hang out with me. Should be a good time.
Just
This weekend, I think we're shooting from 9 to 12, so we're just priming it really too much. But those other days, we have 4-hour shifts that are kind of overlapping, I think, from 9 a.m. to about 8 p.m. And then we'll kind of fill in speaking out. So, cool. Great.
Yeah, if you don't have the QR code right there, let me just pull this over. It's on our web page as well. On just the main page, if you go to Poplar Grove, slc.org, and you scroll down, you will also, this is the event that just happened, but you'll see this here, and then there's a link to volunteer. And on the sign up form, it asks for a little bit of your info, and then it'll ask about which shifts you're interested in doing. So if you're not sure about the dates, they're all on the sign up sheet.
Also, if you can't do a full shift and you're like, I can only do an hour, come. Just like put that in the email. There's no like walk in of like, oh, I'm gonna be 30 minutes. We don't care. Come hang out. That's just to get a general idea of how many hands will on the wall.
Okay, great.
Can you hold that QR code?
Yes.
Thanks.
And then, of course, poplargroveslc.org is our community council website. We try to put stuff on there. Try to keep that active. All right. Everyone got that? Awesome. We just came across this the other month, and so we want to make sure we keep this in here as well. My Hometown is an organization that helps putting on projects around the neighborhoods. So if you want to nominate someone to have projects done or get more information, you can visit myhometownslc.org. There's 2 areas. I think this link might have been for the northwest one, which is sort of that side of North Temple. There's also a west side, but anyways, that's a great organization doing work around here. So if you know people that need help, that's a good place to try to connect them to. This is an issue I just want to talk to real quick. So, community council, we love meeting here because the space is really great. But we also wanted to we've been invited to visit certain places to host community councils there. And so we have these two options that we just thought we'd bring it to all of you to get a little bit of feedback. I mean, ultimately we just make the decision, right? And then you guys decide if you want to come or not. But we wanted to see what you guys felt about it. Uh, the first option is so we generally meet, as you may or may not know, we meet January through May, and then we take 2 months off for summer, and then we meet August through October, and then we take 2 months off in the winter normally. And so one of the options would be, well, we just do neighborhood house for the first half, and then we'll just hop around for those other 3 months. Is option one, and the other option would be kind of spread it around. We do like February somewhere else, and then we'll do May somewhere else, and then we'll do October somewhere else. And the locations could be like, well, neighborhood houses are home, but like, theoretically, like possibly like something like Bakery 43 or the Other Side Village. The Other Side Village is actually the one that has reached out and would like to host us over there, so they could also give us a tour of the facilities. Potentially maybe Sugar Space or maybe the library or figuring out some other places around town. Just because we have a great neighborhood. Is there any feedback of which of A or B would be better?
I'm just gonna try to, if you're gonna go half one place, half another place, think of the storms and stuff in the winter when it is bad. Some people don't drive, so therefore stay in the community, staying here during the colder winter months when it could be really
Yeah.
bad.
Well, these all would still be in the community. It'd still be in Poplar Grove. Yeah. Though, I mean, again, our neighbors live in all of these places. So, I mean, that is a great consideration as travel. That is another reason why we have the hybrid option. So you can always tune in or view later because of that. But that is a good consideration. Charlotte.
I think that if you're changing each month, it can get confusing for people. They don't remember, but maybe we'll get them to check the website.
That was the idea. I know that was part of it was like, well, if it's a little bit, they won't know where it's at. It's like, well, then tune in and figure out where it's supposed to be.
So I guess you'll see about the attendance.
Yeah. I mean, it's an experiment. We've not done that. I mean, we were at the police precinct for many years, and then when they built the new neighborhood house, we moved over here, and it's been great. We were over in the gym, which was okay, but really boomy and hard to. This room has been like really great for our meetings, which is awesome, and there's room for expansion, which we have today. We have quite a few people here. If you're going for one or two, is there anyone feeling that one or two would be better, or it's just like a coin toss? We like one, we like two. And everyone else is like,
Take a vote.
Yeah.
just it's a straw poll. It doesn't really matter. Informal vote. If you like one more, can I just show hands?
So one is in the beginning and
It would be
It'd be half and half. And the other one is kind of mixing them up a little bit. And number two, if people like number two more, mixing up. Okay. All right. Well, the board will eventually make that decision, but we want to make sure you felt, if we do pop this out, it's not like no one told me about it. It's like, well, we've talked about it before we even have any plans to do anything anywhere else.
Joint meeting with Glendale.
Yes. And actually, I don't think we even have a graphic for that yet.
June.
So normally, like you see here, we don't meet. We have a break in June and July. And we also have a break in November and December. So what we like to do as a community council is we like to join with the other neighboring community councils to the north and the south. We've done it a couple times where we've met around December with Fair Park to have a get together with them. And so we decided this year we finally made enough connections. So next month we're going to be joining Glendale during their normal community council time. So they meet on the third Wednesday where we meet on the fourth. And so we'll put out a notice about that, but just to let you know, we're having an extra meeting. I think Chief Red is supposed to be on the docket to come to that one. Get a little pressure on him instead of just Detective Oliver. Yeah, he can share the burden. Yeah, please. Dan?
We also talked about it, and it's worked before, is doing a potluck. When we do something with another community, we just do a potluck, and that seems to really, help to melt the things back together since we split from Glendale.
So,
Got many to say everyone.
so again, on that date, it would be the 17th, June 17th will be that Wednesday. We'll put it in the recap. I forgot to get a graphic up for that, but that'll be another opportunity to get together with our neighbors to the south, because although we have different names, we're all the same neighborhood basically. So that should be fun. And just a reminder that we try to put information on our website, including organizational input, where a lot of times the city will come out to us and ask for information about, a new development is going in. They want to have feedback. So that's one of the ways that we try to keep that up to date with whenever the city happens to send things our way. Check that out on our website. Yes.
So it's gonna be at Glendale.
It's going to be in the, yeah, so it won't be here. It's going to be at the Glendale Library. We're just basically joining with their normal meeting. They normally meet there. Instead of trying to pick a third place and confuse people, we're just meeting during their normal time, but it'll be a joint community council meeting. So we'll all the leadership will, some of the leadership will be there. And then we'll invite all of you to come. And yeah, we will try to do some potluck, something or other. We'll figure out what the main course is that the community councils will probably provide. And
Great space for like the kitchen area and then they have a little.
Yeah.
Glendale has.
oh yeah,
And Chapman.
yeah. But the Chapman is the better library because it's in Poplar Grove. No. Just give a heads up that we have this park performances event that the community council helps sponsor. A neighbor, local resident has been putting this on. It's going to be the 5th annual event. The resident is me. I've been doing this at the Poplar Grove Park. Just I brag about being the only individual to receive an ACE grant, not an organization. Just me applying because anyone can make the neighborhood nicer if you just go out and try to make the neighborhood nicer. So we're having 2 performances on the 4th Saturdays of June and August. Just having local artists and performances. It'll start like performances are usually around 6:30ish. Depending on how many people we have to do that, but it's a fun time to just come out and enjoy the park.
Did you see it's ACE sponsored?
Yes. So we will get. Anyways, this was not the official flyer. I remembered 5 minutes before the meeting that I need to make a graphic for it. So, Alicia, did you want to present now?
Yes.
I think that was the last thing. Probably after that, we'll get to the presentations. So, okay, let's see if this works.
Okay, friends. So while Daniel is putting up my slides, I had so much fun during the bike ride that I forgot my presentation, so I had to go back to the office. All right, so let's see. All right, so the ACE grant, I'm just going to go off topic a bit. ACE grant is arts, culture, and entertainment. I'm on the selection board or selection committee. So if this year you submit applications and you want to advocate for your community for us to consider those applications, please let me know because I'm on the selection board so I can advocate for your application. So congratulations on getting that again this year.
Mayoral?
May. Is it May?
May budget presentation?
Yeah. All right. What was the other thing that I wanted to mention? Okay, well, if I remember, I'll let you know. So I am your community liaison to the mayor's office. And today I am presenting on the budget. Did I do a presentation on the budget? Budget 101. I did?
Last month.
Okay, great. So this is an update. Is that the first one? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, this is an update. So you have there are 2 ways that you can participate. There's public comment on the budget. It's been submitted by the mayor first week of May, and it needs to be approved by city council by the end of June. So there are 2 public comment periods, and one already passed. The other one will be next week, June 2nd. Is it next week? It is. Okay. So it's very important that I go through this, and it's about 15 slides, a lot of information, so I'll try to go quick. Please leave your comments, questions towards the end. Public Utilities is not here to talk about their proposed rate increase, but they will be, someone from Public Utilities will be at the Fair Park Community Council tomorrow, which you can be there. They start at 6:30. Okay, more information to come. So for those of you who are not here for the Budget 101 discussion, just for context, because it's very important, just know that this year was a very challenging year for us all in terms of the budget, in terms of financing, same with the city. certain decisions were made to make sure that we had enough funding in the general fund to strengthen our core services. So just so you know, the general fund, the highlight is the city's main account. It supports services like public safety and day-to-day operations. And the city also has two enterprise funds, which is public utilities and the airport, those two bottom ones right there. So they operate more like a business and they do not rely on tax dollars. So enterprise funds, the PU and the airport, are self-supporting, and their revenue that they bring in pays for services that the city provides. So they do not subsidize the general fund. So tonight I'm mainly talking about the general fund and the public utilities enterprise funds. Next. Thank you. So this year, the mayor's proposing a general fund budget of 498,863,053. This slide is providing an overview, and it shows how the police department represents the largest portion of the budget, followed by other non-departmental costs such as fleet, IMS, which is technology, and employee healthcare. Overall, public safety now accounts for 42% of the budget, which is PD, fire, justice court, and the 911 call center. So that makes it 42% of the general budget. Next. Okay, so to quote the mayor, this budget reflects current reality amid shrinking federal funding, rising fuel and material costs, and ongoing inflationary pressures. Unfortunately, these rising costs are also affecting the cost of delivering the core services our city relies on. So the budget is reflecting how inflation is impacting city business. So an example that's listed on here is that a traffic signal costs about 250,000, but today, in order to replace that traffic signal, it's costing the city 500,000, which is a 100% increase. Next slide, please. Now, the mayor asked every city department to find operational cuts for this budget, saving 13.2 million. That includes holding some positions open longer. Our teams are doing the same, or in some cases, work with fewer staff. We're also reducing operating expenses like travel, supplies, and utilities, and cut back on consulting contracts by bringing more work in-house. With our police department now fully staffed, we've been able to reduce overtime costs, and we're continuing to work through inland port negotiations to help fund 12 new police officers on the west side. So ultimately, to ensure that we are delivering core services to you all, the mayor's budget includes a proposed property tax increase to generate 13.5 million in revenue. Now, before we consider a tax increase, we cut $13.2 million through department-wide cooperation and efficiency. So here is a breakdown of what it would look like on property tax increase. So let's see.
If you have a home worth 600,000.
Yes. So property tax increase will generate 13.5 million in revenue, which if you have a home that's valued at $624,000, then it equates to 9.87 per month. And this is separated into how that money would be invested back into the community. So let's see. Capital improvements to maintain critical infrastructure would go $4.73. Fire response and prevention would get $1.32 from that increase. Lighting, maintenance, and public spaces would get 17 cents. So that's a breakdown. If you'd like to take a picture, please do so now. I've also,
Can we put it on the website?
oh yeah, for sure. I gave Daniel the slides so he can publish any, and you can also ask him, or you can also email me to get a copy of these slides so you can digest the information more at home. And if you have any questions, always email us or come to the city and county building next week. Okay, so just to be clear, this is not a proposed increase to a resident's entire property tax bill. Salt Lake City is just one of several taxing entities. And this increase applies only to the city's portion of the bill. So we're talking about the blue portion. Let's see. Okay. So the last time that Salt Lake City increased property taxes was in 2022 with a 4.9% increase. And these are just estimates. Don't treat these figures on the slide as final. And the examples here just demonstrates how property tax increase would impact different home values, in Salt Lake City. So the exact numbers can be found on the counter assessor website, which I have it with me if you want to get it from me towards the end of the meeting. All right, so public utilities. All right, so as I go through public utilities, it's important to keep in mind that these investments directly support, thank you, systems that we rely on a daily basis. So we are collectively investing in critical infrastructure, including water treatment, water conveyance, water storage, and we're also investing in ongoing replacement and rehabilitation of aging infrastructure. So these are not optional improvements, and these are essential to maintaining reliable service, meeting regulatory standards, and ensuring the long-term sustainability of our water system. So part of the budget the mayor presented to city council includes changes to our public utilities bill. And so many of our water treatment facilities were built in the 50s and 60s and are now at the end of their lifespan. They proposed rate increases as part of a long-term plan to ensure Salt Lake City continues to have safe, reliable water for generations to come. This slide shows a range of estimated impacts of residential water users, which varies based on household size, landscaping, property size, and water use habits, such as irrigation and appliance efficiency.
You go back.
Yeah.
So depending on how much you use, is that what that is? The high use and the minimum use?
An example, just it varies household to household, but yep.
That's what's happening now.
That's what's.
No,
That's with the
increase. This is why. Water and sewer. What is the median or average? Like what do you have that?
median, let's see. I just have a range. So water bills would be increasing roughly from $13 to $63 monthly, depending on usage. There's sewer increase around $8 to $25 a month. And there's street lighting increase about $2.60 a month for residents. So it varies by usage. So if you go to the next slide, there's a rate calculator that gives you a better idea of the changes you might see on your bill. And you can use that QR code. You'll need to know a few things that you can find on your bill, like the service line size, your typical monthly water use, basic details about your home, etc. The calculator only shows water and sewer charges. It doesn't include changes to other parts of your bill, which we'll talk about in a second. That's more information. Yeah, thank you for pulling that.
We should, if you're a resident that maybe is considered a high use, but you go through a lot of conservativeness to bring your usage down, does the utilities department automatically switch you down then to the lower use if you start using less, or or will they always keep you up there even though you're now using less water?
Good question. So
Basically, you pay for what you use.
Yeah, you can declare.
Why is there two different ranges there?
Oh, it's just,
That's the bottom line.
Okay.
it's just,
It works up there, okay.
And the structure might be, might be like this instead of a nice curve.
thank you for saying about the structure because
Yeah,
there's been a tier. There's a new tier system.
yeah.
Tier 1, 2, and 3, right? So yes, it depends on your usage. So you won't stay at a particular, what do you say, cost. It depends how much you use of water, right?
Okay.
So you're not going to stay at one point even if you conserve. So
I think,
I
and
don't
this
think
is just examples of like what a big user would look like and what a low user would look like. And most people are going to fit somewhere in the middle there. It's just giving you bookend ranges.
yeah.
I had a leak at one point. There was a water use was going, and they called me and said, "You're going to be considered a high use if you don't take care of that." I didn't even know I had the leak. And so even though I fixed the leak, they kept me at that high tier for a while, and I don't know if they've automatically dropped me down
Yeah,
or what.
They reassess in the fall.
Yeah,
Every fall.
it averages out.
Okay.
And were you talking about sewer as well, or was it just overall? Because they do the same thing, like your sewer rate is dependent on the year from before. So this year's rate is according to your usage last year.
Maybe that's what they're talking.
Also, did you do repairs or did someone?
I did do the repairs.
Do you have receipts and stuff?
Yeah.
I think you can get adjustments or some kind of refund.
It was a few years ago, so if it
Oh,
redoes
okay.
it every year, then it should have.
I recently had the main water line break and they did charge like $448 for that month. And it was I think it was just 2 days
Oh
that
my
the water
God.
was running.
Uh-huh.
And so that high, but I have a home serve that repaired it, and
Okay.
then I have to send the invoice, and then the
Good.
water department will take off all that extra charge.
Okay, great. Yes,
That's exactly what happened to me. Exactly. I got half of it back.
you did. Okay. So you did it. That was years ago. Okay. Should I submit to the board to publish online the process of sending in receipts, when you do repairs, so that
Yeah.
you could get refunded or assessed by the public utilities part of
You
it?
send it over, we'll put it up.
Okay, great. So let's see. All right, so if you go to the next slide, so the city's offering free water checks to households or commercial properties who need help making their lawn irrigation systems more efficient. Public utilities team also has many water conservation resources like water maps, drought tolerant grass seed. You can buy a rain barrel from the city. You can get a free water check from USU Center for Water Efficiency landscaping from May through August. So take advantage of that. Oh boy. So in addition to water and sewer on your bill, you're going to see changes on stormwater and street lighting. Please remember that these are averages. A few years ago, the city conducted a community survey and residents indicated that they preferred for smaller and more gradual annual increases to keep up with city needs and inflation. So rather than larger increases every year, this is why there's a modest increase that is being proposed this year. So the proposed fee adjustment covers the full range of services provided by waste and recycling, including weekly trash, recycling, and compost collection, as well as call to haul services, holiday tree collection, and seasonal leaf bag pickup upon request. All right, so every year the budget begins in January, ends in June. The mayor submits, she's working with city departments for 2 months or so, 4 months actually. And then in May, she submits it to city council for review. It's under review right now. You have the opportunity to ask questions, complain, vent, make suggestions, recommendations, question. So there's a public hearing June 2nd at 7 p.m. Now, if you want to speak to someone in public utilities about the increased rate or even on property tax, come to City and County Building next Tuesday at 6 p.m. You'll have the opportunity to speak to staff there. Because at 7 p.m., then City Council begins their session reviewing the budget. Now you can also come tomorrow to Fair Park's Community Council meeting because there will be a representative from Public Utilities. We call it PU. You can talk to them there. The meeting starts at 6:30. I'm sure they'll be presenting around 7 because that's when I present and that's when they'll be.
They'll be presenting earlier.
Earlier? Okay.
Because there's an event at 7 that I forgot to mention that I'm supposed to mention when you're done.
Oh, okay.
So their meeting's gonna be from 6:30 to 7.
Okay. So if you can't go in person, be online and you can ask questions online. Okay. Yes.
That one tomorrow, is that is it West Side Coalition meeting? Is that what
Before the West Side Coalition meeting, Fair Park Community, they're gonna be joining the space, using the same space. So they're gonna do a shortened community council meeting and then have the thing that I'm gonna talk about in a second here.
So it's at the Utah State Fair Park or Utah State Fair grounds, and it's in the not promontory.
Deseret.
Yeah.
Deseret Building.
Oh, Deseret Building. If you want to go. Scan the QR code for feedback to share your feedback. Budget basics, you can go to that link. If you want to look at the budget book, it's about 700 pages from last year, but you can always go just to the table of contents and like, oh, public lands, and then go straight to that chapter. Okay. And that's my contact information. Yeah.
Will that booklet work for the librarian?
As for summer reading.
Oh, that's a good question.
Great.
Okay, so there are two parts that I will leave behind. This is a business card where you can scan the QR code to provide feedback. And this one is to submit comments, concern, and also participate in city projects that are happening that you can provide feedback. Yes, questions. Jason, you have one?
Well, I spent the first 3 months of this year trying to ask public utilities why I was going to have to pay nearly $600 for not using one drop of water, sending one drop of water to the sewer system. And no matter what, I have to pay that money. And I did for nothing, for absolutely no service whatsoever. In fact, there's a lock put on there by the city, water for being turned on at that house. The house I want to tear down to rebuild. They say the only way to stop being charged is to dig up the meter out of the street and have it removed. I have to pay a contractor to do it. And I don't want to have to do that because I'm going to turn around and hook it right back up. I want that ceased. I don't want to pay thousands of dollars. I've already paid like $5,000 at the city for nothing.
Have you asked them already?
I have gone all the way to the top. There's nobody else. There's them, and then there's God, and then there's me.
And what do you think I can do?
So you're being charged the water fee?
Yeah.
Or
I'm being charged because I live in Salt Lake City. All of you are being charged. It's part of your thing.
no, is it like the $23 that you're paying for the treatment facility, but zero usage?
Yeah, I get charged for all the water I don't use that goes down to the sewer. Right? I don't put any water down the sewer. And everyone said there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. So
Well, I mean, not for the sewer line though, but you're just being charged the rates,
For
the
water.
stuff at the top that
Yeah,
before you get
it's
to
a
the
flat
usage.
fee.
Yeah.
Just being connected for the grace of being connected to the city. That's it. So I told them if we can't stop it, I'll dig a hole and chop it out and you guys can deal with it. And they said, well, we're going to come after you. And I said, hey, man, it's your hole in your street with your water line. What are you talking about?
Then I can't do anything then.
Nobody can do anything.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So I will dig the hole and cut out the meter and leave it in the middle of the street. And the water will flow to the Jordan River.
Okay.
Well, you're not, again, you're not being charged for water being used. I mean, so
Oh, yeah.
the reason I'm mentioning this is when I lived in Hawaii, we had no usage, so we turned off everything.
No.
So the usage would still show zero, but you're being charged for the storm drains, and you're being charged for
Yes.
the service charges that have nothing to do with the water going in and out of your
That's right.
house.
Yes.
So, I mean, again, if you cut the hole, I'm just saying water isn't going to flow anywhere.
I'm already in it almost $600 this year.
It's
So
a yearly fee?
no,
Well, no, it's on
It's
your
every
fee. When you receive your bill, you have your usage fee, and then all these fees that you're talking about here, the stormwater, the lights, those are just additional fees on your bill that are there. That doesn't matter how much water you use; those are just going to always
Yeah.
be on the bill.
yeah, but we're just talking. Yeah, so all of that is just it's just because I live here, just for being here. So the only way it'll go away is if I dig up the street and I
Okay.
say, well, you need a contractor to do that. Only shovel, I can do it.
I won't say what you said about, because I didn't hear anything. So
Even
if you
can tell
did,
whoever you
I
want.
mean,
They'll
it's
know.
recorded, but I will not say anything,
No,
and
no,
I am so
It's
sorry.
it's not my water line. It's the
Before,
city's.
yeah,
Well, I see, this is the thing. This is the neutral thing with the city. It doesn't matter if it's I called Pui about this. There's nothing we can do.
I can't do anything then, huh?
Exactly. It doesn't
Okay.
matter who it is. I can do anything.
Sorry.
Can't change.
Is there anything else that I can do for anybody else that I can?
That is the answer
Yes?
from the city, right there.
I mean, if you've already reached to God and it's not working, I don't know what I can do.
Well, the city will come to me when I disconnected myself, right? And then I can say, well, where were you before I disconnected it? The mayor is not going to know. The public utilities, Lauren or Laura, is the head of all public utilities. She said there's nothing we can do.
Do they do this in other cities?
They do this. Well, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think they do.
You have a question? Can I take it?
Public lands.
Me?
Yeah, I'm Sydney Brighter. I'm the one on First South that had the 6 foot with all the weeds on that public land on the west side of the Jordan River off First South. And it took them 2 days to cut it all down. But they didn't remove it all,
Okay.
and it's all dried up. And I've contacted them.
How did you contact them?
And you gave me the number to contact them.
I did.
Yes, I called you.
Do you have my number?
Yes,
Have you contacted me?
yes, and I
Via email?
left a message like a
She doesn't do emails.
weekend. Yeah, I have
I'll check my phone in a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll
I know this has been going on
text them right now.
for a while, and you're the one that gave me this public lands number
I did.
to call. They got right on it. It took
Okay.
me 2 days to
Okay.
clean it up.
Okay.
The only problem was they left it.
Ah,
It's dried out.
Okay.
It's a fire hazard, and we've got
Yes.
homeless wandering around out
okay.
there.
I'll text them when I finish my presentation. Thank you. There's there's an affordability resource guide that I'll leave behind if anybody's interested. It has resources like Rocky Mountain Power, United Way, other stuff in case you're interested. And
And if you can leave those over on that
Yeah.
other table, because people never pull anything from over here.
and then is public lands next?
No,
Or-
we have they're gonna go at the end.
Okay. Okay, great.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. We kind of threw that out there. The thing I was just mentioning that the event is, if you do want to talk to the people, Fair Park Community Council is doing their normal meeting tomorrow at 6:30 to 7, and then at 7 there's a West Side primary election candidate forum. So the different candidates, not going to be a formal like debate or anything like that. Just they'll all be tabling there. And if you go to westsideslc.org and then under events, it has information here. We have a list of all the attendees that will be attending the meeting, and then also those that aren't going to be attending, so that we guilt them into hopefully coming. So they might decide to come tomorrow. So there might be even more. But I just want to mention that event because I forgot to put that in the slides that we had. And then the one other quick thing before we get in there, we just wanted to mention that we have a new neighbor in our neighborhood, and most of you have probably seen it. But Cosmo has been installed at the roundabout. I thought this was also a good transition into our first presenter about artwork in our neighborhood. But that went in on May 11th, and we have the pots there. And if you don't know about that, that's down on the roundabout on 1,000 West and 700 South. So it's just a couple blocks over, just right next to the police precinct. So if you don't have a chance to check it out, it's a really cool statue. And with that said, let's talk about some more art. Let's turn time over our strut friends and the city. And we had them come in like 2 years ago, and we had a whole extra meeting, and now we're back again with the results.
It's all done.
fruits.
Any questions about Cosmo? The dinosaur? That's the name of the dinosaur. So we're doing a really cool rollout. We've never done something like this. But NHMU, the Natural History Museum of Utah, reached out to us because that's the dinosaur that's only been found in Utah. And the artist that donated it to the city, Garth Franklin, we helped him with the installation. So it's kind of like a Where's Cosmo type of thing. So it's been really fun to like see them come out. So the next one will come out, I think next week or in 2 weeks. So keep this secret. So you guys kind of know.
Once it gets rolled out, we're gonna throw a party. Just FYI, the community council will throw a party. So
with nuggets, with
dino nuggets, it'll be a dino disco.
The theme.
Yeah, I was
Put
just
it in the
thinking about
library.
that. Yes, get your summer reading done as well. So.
My name is Renato. I work over at the Salt Lake City Arts Council, where I work in the public art program, and I work with Mary.
Hi, I'm in transportation.
And we've been working on this project for what, 3 years? Is it 3 years?
Almost 3 years, yeah.
So maybe you'll say something, but I'll say something about it on how this came together. And this project started as a really small idea that was like, what will happen if we were to integrate an artist team into a large infrastructure project, not knowing what it will come out. The main thing that we wanted to have reflected on the artwork or in this experiment or idea was to reflect community. So we did really intentional engagement with Salt Lake City, and specifically Poplar Grove residents, and listening to you, what you wanted to see reflected in the artwork. Then we went and found the artists, Laura Haddad and Tom Drugan, who really work with engineers and spoken language that I really cannot understand about how to make this experience of the 400 South Viaduct Trail into a safer, more joyful, and fun experience, which is
Yeah. So the new 400 South Viaduct Trail stretches from 900 West here over to 200 West, close to downtown. So it also connects with the new 300 West bikeway that went in this past spring as well. So now you can get from Poplar Grove to downtown, to the farmers market, to the 9 line, Granary District, all that jazz. So we're excited to Costco. And 400 South, we're excited about it. It's a long way of saying it, but it's the first protected bikeway between our east-west divide that you're not going to get stopped by a train. So we're excited about that, and grateful to the Arts Council and our artists here for making it more beautiful. It's fun. It's cool.
That sounds like a segue. But really, I think, so Laura and I are here, it's done, it's open. We have this awesome opening event where we rode the 4.5 mile loop around, and it was amazing. Some of you guys were with us. It was fantastic. Seeing how it all connects. I didn't really realize the whole loop and how it connected to the Jordan Trail. But I think a big thank you to the community here, the West Side, Poplar Grove. I think it was really those early dialogues and conversations we had. We had open house, we had precedent images, we came up with some early ideas and shared those with you all. And all that input really kind of helped us kind of weave the art into what you see here. I think it's kind of funny, since we started 3 years ago, the peacock has really been embraced by the neighborhood because it was such an odd thing. I think the very first time Laura and I were driving around
the Poplar Grove neighborhood. It was kind of a cold day, and then we just see the peacock strutting down the sidewalk. Like, what is that? And, I think I shared this earlier, but I'll say it again. Like someone told us at one of the community meetings, um, they said, peacocks aren't native to Salt Lake, but they've adapted, similar to the way the many people here in the neighborhood, many immigrants in this community have adapted to living here. So we really thought that was kind of a cool connection between the people, the community here, and that, and then also the kind of using the color and stuff really tapped into the neighborhood stuff. Yeah. So we really, it was a long process, and we really worked well with the city, the transportation department, the engineering department, and there was a lot of constraints on what we could do. So, but we really embraced this idea of kind of making this functional utilitarian corridor in artwork, the whole thing, not just kind of doing art on one end or another or something. So we really, it was kind of cool how we could do embrace that sequence. So there was a lot of constraints, like over the rail line, it had to be a certain height, and then other areas it had to be other heights, and then it had to be, it had to be something that was economical enough and utilitarian enough that it could be kind of created in like parts that we could assemble together. And but really, I think the big idea we had really on was this idea of stitching the west side to the downtown. And it was kind of the original art inspiration that you guys had in the original call, like how can we make that connection? So I think we really embraced that and then started to see how these materials could kind of enliven this experience and kind of create a visual connection. So it's kind of a unique artwork. It's very abstract, but it also kind of taps specifically into some qualities of place that we love. So if you want to add some details.
So the inspiration of the peacock was the basis of our color palette. But we also were inspired by a lot of the landscapes that we saw around. The peacock is primarily blue and green, but has details of orange and gold and brown and purple. So that was our primary palette. The peacock does not have red. So this is like every color in the rainbow, but there is no red in the fence. So then we kind of broke we grouped the colors into specific palettes that are used in different parts of the fence. So starting on the east side, we have golds and oranges and browns and greens, which are representing the trees in the Wasatch Mountains in the spring or in summer and fall. And then we have blues and whites, which are more of like the snowy mountain look. So again, very abstract. We have greens and blues because we heard that the Jordan River corridor was such an important feature for especially the west side. And then the Great Salt Lake is represented in this section here where we have orange and brown and purple and blue, the colors that you see in the lake. So as you move through the artwork, you kind of go through these different color fields and you kind of know where you are in the trail because I'm in the brown section or I'm in the purple section, but they also fluidly represent the landscape. And then on the west end, all of the colors start to like commingle together. And so this is the culmination. This is what we call the full peacock. So it's a big wave, and all the colors blend. And we also thought that was a nice metaphor for the community with all of these different people coming together. So we have really enjoyed working with the city and the consultants, with you all, and really, I think, coming up with something that, as Tom said, was buildable for the budget and created this very long experience. Almost thinking of it as like our initial thought was this thread that weaves the west side into downtown. And so I think this kind of waveform is how we were able to achieve that.
Do you want to talk about the prismatic?
The materials we used on the rails are sign film, so it's a retroreflective material that when light hits it, it kind of glistens. So again, similar to the peacock feathers. So sunlight hits it, and then car lights hit it, and there's kind of a light experience.
And then this picture doesn't show it very well, but we have some translucent polycarbonate panels that are in the same color scheme. And when the sun is behind the fence, especially, they really glow, and there's something you can see from a distance.
Yeah, some of those distant views are pretty cool too.
Does
We
some
saw
of it glow at night or no?
with the street lights.
Yep.
Yeah. And then if you're driving over or biking over with your headlamp, we're gonna check it out tonight. But that retroreflective film should kind of light up as your light's hitting it, so it should be pretty cool. So, yeah. But yeah, the whole experience is kind of something you experience as you're moving the whole corridor and going along, and then sort of unfolds, before you with these waves and undulations.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, well, it's not a really question, it's more of a comment, but at different times of the day, when I've been in the car, not on my bike next to it, but when I've been in the car and I start coming up from the east, there's no color in it. And then as the light or the car changes angle, all the color starts coming through. It looks white on you, but it's not like every time you go over it. Certain
Depends on where the sunlight is.
So
Yeah.
it looks white, and then as you go over, the color starts coming to it.
Oh,
It's
neat.
just something
Okay.
I noticed that
Yeah.
kind of is a cool thing. I don't know if that's what you
Well,
intended.
one thing that I noticed is the last time we were here was in February or March for when it was being installed, and the sun doesn't go as far north at that time. So it was a much different experience with the light on the front of the fence. And now, well, there wasn't that much light on the front of the fence, but now there is because the sun's a lot further north. So I think you'll observe more than we will since we don't live here, that throughout the year it will change quite a bit and different times of day, of course. So that is something we always try to bring into our work, is like have it be activated by light.
Has that reflective strips down on the cement as well below the vents?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it actually runs on both sides because there's a low barrier on the traffic side, so you're in it. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like if you ever saw 2001 Space Odyssey. If you're in the race state of mind.
Another fun thing, this wasn't an intentional. It happened to be this way, and we didn't really come to understand it until after it was installed. But this is the longest continuous single artwork in the entire state of Utah. The only thing that's bigger is probably 9 Mile Canyon down in southwest. The world's longest art gallery, but it is not a single art. It's multiple artworks. So that was cool. So when we started looking into it, I was like, well, let's really run with this fun fact. It's gonna be fun. Remember the tunnel everybody hated at the airport? It's twice as long. And it's really long because we walked it. How many times we walked it that one day?
It's a while.
Times.
Yes.
So tired. And Spiral Jetty, I don't know. Spiral Jetty. So if you were to unspiral it, this is a third long. So it's really long. So go experience it.
Yeah.
And
someone actually did that math.
The internet's comes with it right now. Like Google something. But yeah, the math was fun, and the fact that the airport tunnel was so hated, it's kind of like local lore because they make you go and like go out of your way, and it was so long. And I was like, this one's for twice as, and that's the new one. So that's the news. Great. Thank you, and thanks for all the support.
Yeah, thank you.
That's okay. We have Jack here. All right.
Mine's not as exciting. My name is Jack Carrasco. I'm a student at the University of Utah, and I just wanted to tell you guys about a research opportunity that we have coming up. It's through the Department of City and Metropolitan Planning. So we're just looking to interview some residents to understand their perspectives on heat mitigation with green spaces and blue spaces. So green spaces are your parks, trees, things like that, and then blue spaces would be splash pads, pools. So just kind of your experiences with our rising temperatures. I have a sign-up sheet that I'll be passing around that you can put your name, neighborhood, email address, phone number, but I also have a QR code if you prefer that. We would be doing a 45 to 60-minute interview, and then we can give you a $20 gift card afterwards. So if you're interested, you're welcome to sign up here. Thank you.
So see them afterwards. And then now we are on to our online friends. Let's visit that one.
You ready, Daniel?
You ready, Daniel? Yeah. So Tyler, it's all yours.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting
I'm
really
sorry, I'm getting
bad
really
echo. So
so
apologize if it
apologize if it
cuts in and out.
you sound fine to us.
You found okay, great.
You found
I'll
okay, great.
ignore myself then.
I'll ignore myself then.
Well, thanks for having us tonight.
Well,
I
thanks for
want
having us tonight.
quick
I want
intro.
quick
I'm
intro.
Tyler Murdoch,
I'm
Deputy
Tyler
Director
Murdoch, Deputy
of
Director
Salt Lake City Public
of
Lands.
Salt Lake City
So thanks
Public
for
Lands.
having
So
us.
thanks for
And
having
I
us.
just want to do
And
a couple quick
a couple
items that I
quick
wanted to share.
items that I wanted to share.
We have several
We
volunteer
have
events
several
coming up
volunteer events
for
coming
public
up
lands
for
this
public lands this
month, as
month,
you
as
guys talked about a little
you
bit.
guys
We have
talked
June
about a little
1st,
bit. We have June 1st,
Perk Your Park at
Perk Your
Georgia
Park
Park. So
at
that's
Georgia
this week.
Park. So that's this week.
June 6th, we
June
have a
6th,
really
we
awesome
have a
event,
really
Children's
awesome event,
Day,
Children's Day,
located up in District 1
located
at
in District
Meadows
1 at
Park.
Meadows Park.
And then on June 12th, we
And
have
then
a
on June
Peace
12th, we have a
Gardens
Peace
opportunity for
Gardens
planting
opportunity
session
for
on
planting session on
June 12th. That's a morning
June 12th.
event.
That's a morning
And then,
event.
as you talked about
And then,
earlier,
as
we
you
do
talked
have a
about
June
earlier, we do have
13th
a
Jordan
June
River
13th
cleanup
Jordan
at the
River
Fisher
cleanup
Mansion.
at the
So
Fisher Mansion. So
we're really trying to expand
we're
our
really trying to
stewardship
expand
programs
our
this
stewardship
year.
programs this
And
year.
I think last
And
year we
last year
had
we
over
had
100
over
events, and
100
we're
events,
focusing a
and
lot
we're
on Jordan
focusing a
River
lot
this
on
year.
Jordan
So
River this year.
please come
So
out.
please
We'd
come
love to
out.
have you out.
We'd love to have you.
Speaking of Jordan River,
Speaking of
I
Jordan
just want to
River, I
respond to
just
a
want to
couple
respond
comments
to a
there.
couple comments there.
Sydney, thanks for
Sydney,
sharing
thanks
that.
for
I'm glad our
sharing
team was
that. I'm
able to
glad our
get
team
out
was able to
and
get out and
clear that for you.
clear
I
that for
sent
you.
a
I sent
request
a
already.
request
We'll
already.
have them come
We'll
in
have them
and
come
clear
in
up that
and clear
phragmites
up
that
that
was removed
phragmites that was
along your
removed
property line.
along your property line.
It's gotta get cleared.
All right, and then
All right, and then
for
for
District 2,
District
Melanie
2,
Pearson
Melanie
is
Pearson
our
is
advisory
our
board
advisory board
representative.
representative.
And we do have a couple
And we do have
openings
a
with our
couple
advisory
openings
board
with our
right now. We
advisory
have
board
one
right
in
now. We
District
have one
6,
in
District
District
7.
6, District 7.
So if you know anyone in
So if
those
you know
districts,
anyone in
please
those
share.
districts,
And
please
then we have
share.
an
And then we
Indigenous
have an
at
Indigenous
large.
at
So within our
large. So
board,
within our
over the past
board,
couple of
over
years,
the
we
past
have
couple
added
of years,
2
we have added
Indigenous
2 Indigenous
representatives
representatives
to our advisory
to our
board. And this
advisory board.
advisory board is
And this
really
advisory
important to
board is
us.
really important to us.
They help
They help
provide us
provide
direction,
us
help provide
direction, help
funding
provide funding
requests when we go
requests
through the
when we
CIP
go through the
process.
CIP process.
And our
And
board chair
our
actually
board
just
chair
happened to
actually just happened
join.
to
Carrie
join.
Nakamura
Carrie
is our board chair.
Nakamura
So
is
thanks
our
for
board chair.
joining,
So thanks
Carrie.
for joining, Carrie.
On our website,
On
we
our
have
website, we
information if
have
you're
information if
interested or
you're
want to share
interested or
about
want to
joining that
share
board.
about joining that board.
All right, still getting
All
a
right, still
strong
getting a
echo, so I
strong echo,
apologize.
so I apologize.
And then I also wanted
And
to
then I
share
also
two other
wanted to
quick
share
things.
2
We
other
have
quick things.
just
We've
hired a new
just
planning and
hired a new
design
planning and
division
design
director.
division
So
director.
this is the
So
person
this is the
responsible
person
for managing
responsible for
all of our
managing all of
capital
our
improvement
capital
projects
improvement
throughout the
projects
city.
throughout the
And
city.
that is John
And that is
Ruedas.
John Ruedas.
He wasn't able to
He
come
wasn't able
tonight,
to
but I
come
would love to
tonight,
have
but I
him
would love to
come
have him
when you
come
guys
when you
reconvene in
guys
August.
reconvene in
So
August.
Daniel, please reach
So
out. We'll
Daniel,
have
please reach
John
out.
come
We'll
and
have
talk about
John
all
come and
capital
talk about all
projects
capital projects
happening in the West Side
happening in the
Community
West Side
District 2.
Community District 2.
And with that, I'm going
And
to
with
turn the
that, I'm going to
time
turn the
over
time
to
over to
Michaela to talk
Michaela to
specifically about
talk
a couple
specifically about
projects
a couple
happening in your
projects
district.
happening in your district. Oh, maybe, yeah.
Hi everyone. My name is Michaela Maponga. I'm a planner with the Planning and Design Division of Public Lands. So I'm going to spend some time just going through a couple of the projects going on in this area. Hopefully I'm going to get a slide deck up. Does that look okay?
Yeah, we're seeing your presenter view.
All right.
All right.
How is that?
Much better. Great.
Great. All right, awesome. So I know there were a couple different projects on the agenda, but I will focus most of my time on the Poplar Grove Park two court projects, and then touch very briefly on the fire station and Peace Labyrinth work. So just a quick overview in case you're not familiar. All of the work, or majority of the work that's done in our parks, kind of our big investments, are done through the Capital Improvement Program, or the CIP. So you'll hear that quite often, just we'll refer to our projects as CIP projects. Typically, this is funding mechanism through which both internal city departments and members of the public can apply for investments in their neighborhood. Project takes about 9 months to be approved through this process. So you'll go through an application at near the end of the year, October, November, December. And then it goes through a review process through a city board, CDCIP board. Then it goes into the budget that the mayor will then present, and then council adoption. So we're actually right in the middle of that process right now. Once city council adopts the kind of overall budget, they then go into detail a little bit later in the summer for CIP projects specifically. So that's where about the 9 months kicks in. And then ultimately that funding becomes available to city departments for execution in August, September. So once that funding becomes available, it can be kicked off, but then depending on a project backlog within any given team or department, it may be a little bit before a project is able to be kicked off. But our general timelines are they start with a scope development, feasibility studies, and often bringing on a consultant to help us with design. Depending on the complexity of the project, we'll go through a public engagement phase and developing conceptual design. Then we go through, once we have that conceptual design, going into construction documents. Then we go through a permitting process and selection of a general contractor to complete the construction of the project. We contract that construction person, and then we actually go through a period of construction. So in all, once we kick off a project, Public Land aims to complete these projects within 3 years of receiving the funding. So two of the projects I'm going to focus on again are the two in Poplar Grove Park. The first is the tennis and pickleball courts. This project was funded as an internal CIP request, so Public Lands actually applied for this funding in fiscal year 21-22. So this funding was made available to us at the end of 2021. This funding included reconstruction of these courts, but didn't necessarily prescribe what those courts should be, just because we didn't know pickleball, tennis, where that was going to end up. So what we ultimately ended up doing was a round of public engagement with a survey where we heard a lot of support for pickleball, but also enough tennis that we wanted to make sure we had a balance here. So ultimately what was decided was that we would keep the eastern tennis court and then replace the western tennis court with 2 pickleball courts. In 2022, this project was also selected for public artwork. So what you're seeing is the approved mural list that will be done on the site. We have contracted with the Roots Art Collective through the Arts Council and the Public Art Program to do this surface court mural. So while we were undergoing design for that project, we also received a constituent CIP request for redoing the half-court basketball court that's in the southern corner of the park. This is right now a half-court, non-regulation size basketball court. So this is going to expand that project to a full-size basketball court and add some walkways and seating areas, as well as fencing and then also a surface artwork. So we're working with the same artist, the Roots Art Collective, and then this is their draft form of their artwork. This was originally designed to be kind of an NBA size court, and it's not going to be that big, so the mural might change a little bit in design, but this is kind of the look and feel that we're going for. Ultimately, although the tennis court and project was a little bit further along, what we didn't want to do was do one construction project that was going to have significant impacts to the court or to the park, and then the next year do another pretty significant construction project. So we ultimately decided to combine these two for both cost savings and to just limit the disruption in the park. Completion for these projects. So we got our final design and our approved permit earlier this year and began looking for a contractor for this work. We just identified a contractor and we've started bid negotiations. So they've proposed some initial pricing. We're reviewing that bid to make sure it's all correct and includes the right things. We are close to a bid approval process, and then we'll go through that contracting that I mentioned, hoping to start construction this summer. At that point, we'll probably section off a pretty significant part of the park while we go through that construction phase, targeting an end of year completion, just pending weather. So just wanted to talk about some of the other projects that are going on. Actually, I can pause there and see if there's any questions about just those 2 projects.
Go ahead. Michaela, this is Jason.
My question is that there's trees, they're the elms, the trashy elm trees on the south end of the tennis courts. They leave a lot of debris with every blowing wind on the tennis courts. Can we remove those trees?
That's a good question. I haven't looked at that. We haven't looked at those trees because they aren't within the area of construction in the project, but it's something that we can look in, maybe some trimming. Tyler, do you know?
So I can take that request because wouldn't we check in with urban forestry in terms of making an assessment if they can remove those trees? I can submit that request or comments on your behalf.
It's in the
Jason.
park. So is it urban forestry or is it Parks Department?
Correct. Yeah,
That's
urban forestry manages all trees in the city in right of ways and in our parks. And Jason, I'm happy to look at those. We've done a treatment on some of the elms because they're so messy where we try and we actually inject them and they then won't seed. And so if we don't remove those, we could try that treatment on those trees to prevent debris from falling on the courts.
Yeah, so if you were to go out there today, right now, I saw someone fall today because they just roll on the little tiny branches that fall out of the tree. And I'm not anti-tree. But the two things don't work. So it's just a problem. You can't go out there without sweeping first.
On the topic of trees, real quick, a quick question is, does urban forestry figure out how old the trees are and how much life they have left? I mean, a lot of those trees that are about that old in our neighborhood have been falling down on neighbors' places, and we've been taking. I mean, I had trees about that size that I had to take them all out because they were starting to get too old. Is someone looking into that for our particular park? And if not, who should we ask to look into that?
Yeah, great question. Urban Forestry does look in that. They do free condition assessments. If you have a tree you're specifically concerned about, they can go out and do an assessment. We have a database that has every tree, which is about 95,000 in the city. And they're actually caught up on maintenance right now. So it's a great time to submit requests if you have specific ones.
Okay, great. Awesome. I guess back to the park. Any questions about this stuff from the room before Michaela goes on?
Which park is this? The Poplar?
This is Poplar Grove Park, so it's the one on Indiana at Emory Street.
Where are we on irrigation with it? Because the south third of the park, between the pavilion and the new pickleball courts, it does not get any irrigation, and it's mostly dirt. If you walk through it, it's a lot of dirt. It's not really grass.
Yeah, Jason, I'll have Joe follow up with a written update. I know we had a mainline failure last year, but I believe that's repaired, so it should be operating. But I can provide Daniel with a written update to that one and include you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Michaela, you want to keep going?
Yes. So I just have one. Talking about some of the other work going on the west side, we have some recently completed projects, including Glendale Park Phase 1 and the pickleball courts, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, the Backman Community Open Space, which opened up a little bit further north along the Jordan River, Rosewood Pickleball Courts, the Emerald Ribbon Action Plan, which was the citywide vision for the Jordan River. And we also did a Jordan River cleanup project from about 17th South to Three Creeks, just cleaning out some of the overgrown weeds and trees along the bank, so it's a lot easier to see the water. We have lots of work in progress and upcoming, but I'll focus on the two that were in the agenda. So Fire Station 7 pickleball. So this was originally imagined kind of the same layout as what we're proposing in Poplar Grove Park, with one tennis court and two pickleball courts. What we ultimately found was the existing tennis courts are not regulation size. So if we wanted to have a regulation size space, we would have to pretty significantly impact the garden. So instead we're pursuing four pickleball courts.
I was just gonna toss in there. This is the fire station in Fair Park, so it's just north. It's on 1,000 west and like 100, 200 north, 300 north. Okay, sorry, just put it into the context because I don't think everyone knew where the fire station pickleball was.
Yeah, thank you so much. So this project is currently in permitting. So thinking back to that timeline that I shared earlier, in permitting now, we're hoping to get that done within the next month or so, have that approved. Then we'll go through the same process of identifying, going through a public bid to construct, hopefully end of this year, if not early next year, pending weather. And then the other project, the Peace Labyrinth and Memorial Tree Grove. So the Peace Labyrinth was identified in the 2022 General Obligation Bond as one of the Reimagine neighborhood parks projects. So that has a dedicated set of funding to just revitalize it and create more of a community space. Right now, it's really, there's nothing there as far as activation. So that work is being done in conjunction with a public utilities project to potentially put a lift station here, in order to create a wetland area that'll help clean our stormwater before entering the Jordan River. In addition, the site was also identified as a location for a memorial tree grove project. I don't have full details on that, but the idea is that people would be able to identify a tree and dedicate it to a loved one and donate it to the city to then be planted in one of these groves. So the Peace Labyrinth will be the first location for this memorial tree grove concept. Any questions on those two projects or any of the other ones I'm sharing on the screen? This is my last slide.
Can you describe where the Peace Labyrinth would be located?
Yes, so it is opposite the river, 17th South River Park. So a little bit further north. I'm not sure what the cross streets are. A lot of people also know it as Peachtree Bend, if that brings a bell for anyone. Let me see. Yeah, it's like 12th West. It's just a little bit further north from 17th South River Park. It's kind of it's not really accessible. It fronts to the backside of a residential community, so it's a little bit hard to access unless you're on the Jordan River Trail itself. It's called the Peace Labyrinth space because there is a piece, like a walkable peace labyrinth within it, and that's really the most identifiable feature of it. Yes. So the Peace Labyrinth space is everything on the east side of that bend in the river.
Can I ask a question, Daniel? I know that you mentioned maybe some concern around the lift station. Do you have, is there a specific question around that project? I mean, it's really public utilities, but I'm happy to try and address that if there's a specific question on that. I think you guys are muted now from us if you are speaking.
Sorry, we didn't
There
have
you
a
go.
huge
There you go.
concern. There was more, anyways, it was more of a general complaint of why can't we have a nice project that isn't couched underneath some sort of capital improvement project at the same time. But it's great. Just having some updates, I think, are going to be good for us. So thank you.
And Daniel, I would recommend to if you haven't seen the Cornell wetlands in Rose Park, that's the type of project that public utilities would look to do here. And so I do think it could be a really beneficial project to improve aesthetics here. So that is next to the Day Riverside Library.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Anything else you want to add from public? Oh, question.
Yeah, if we could get some kind of shade cover and landscaping on the Nine Line Trail, it's such a great trail, and I feel like on the west side it's a little bit underutilized, and people don't even know it's there because it just looks like a big sidewalk. And think it would really be great if we could get some more shade covering vegetation around it, like we have on the east side.
Sorry, is that a question about the shade on the Nine Line?
Yeah, that was the shade, trying to get the equal shade on, get some more shade because the west side, it feels like a big, hot sidewalk.
Okay, I'm guessing you're talking. I was going to say most of the trees we planted on the Nine Line are actually on the west side, but I'm guessing you're talking east of 7th West.
Like just right as you kind of cross the train tracks and go east, there's kind of a really long, and like to get to like Woodbine Food Hall, all kind of that whole stretch is very bare.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, right in front of the wood facility. In August, I think we will have a great update on that. We are pursuing several grants for greening that corridor right now, and by August, we will have an update on those grant requests.
Thank you.
Dan?
Yeah, hey Tyler, I want to compliment the city on removing all that, all that growth so that we can see the Jordan River on from the Parkway side. However, and the line of sight for bicycling, that's all way awesome. However, I'm seriously offended by any of the cutting of trees on the other side of the river, the wildlife side of the river. Sorry, I'm just a nature guy. So I really have, backyards is one thing, so that's not going to be a problem. But where the city has control, shouldn't be raping and pillaging trees and shrubs along the other side of the Jordan. So that's my only comment.
Yeah, Dan, that's a fair concern, and it's something we think about a lot with that project. Melanie Pearson, who's the advisory board representative, has brought that up to our board several times. We just did a walk last week, actually, to talk specifically about that, and I would love to do the same with you, Dan.
Okay.
Can I go on that walk too?
Yeah. Charlotte wants
Me
to go
too.
She wants to talk about swallows.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. One other thing that I didn't get a chance to talk about is at Night South River Park, we have, you've probably seen some work going on there. We acquired a property next to the park that is focused specifically on native plant propagation. So maybe we could start there and talk about what we're going to do with that site and how we'll use that site to revegetate along the Jordan River.
That's what the fence is for?
Yeah, it's a native plant.
Property just to the east of 9 South River Park. You'll see that is a new kind of farm that we're putting together for native plant propagation.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, great.
Right there.
Right there.
Awesome. So
I'll email you, Dan.
Great. Any other questions for them before we move on to the last thing? Awesome.
I have one question, sorry. Is taking up the water guzzling Russian olive along the Jordan River part of these projects?
That may be a longer conversation for our walk. We definitely are doing that in selective areas, but there are a lot of benefits to having even some invasive trees, and so we don't want to just go and clear cut all of them.
Awesome. Thank you, Vol, for presenting and updating us. All right, and the last thing, which hopefully won't be too long, will be any public comments, questions, concerns. Dan.
Yeah, hey, I brought a bunch of transplants, garden vegetables that we have in the back of our car, straight out the front door there. Tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. So if anybody wants to add a couple of contraptions or pets to their yard, then I got some pretty cool stuff.
Great.
Greenhouse, so that's
great. Charlotte.
So, I'm the school board member that represents this area. And I don't know if you ever want me to come and tell you what's going on with the school board. I don't know if very many of you are interested, but we do have a public comment period also. I mean, a hearing for our budget on the same night.
Oh,
So city council and Salt Lake City School Board often meet at the same time on Tuesdays. And so June 2nd. It should be staggered, right? So that, yeah. But anyway, so there is a budget that you can look at. We are not proposing any tax rate hikes. So not this year. And we're not proposing to close any schools this year either. So, people aren't really upset at us. But that doesn't mean that it won't be happening. We probably in 2027 we'll be looking at closing schools. and maybe at doing a property tax hike. So the budget, we are $17 million in the deficit this year. So a $17 million deficit because of some of the same things. Cuts from the federal government, cuts from the state, lots of legislation that they're unfunded mandates. So and then inflation, right? And our insurance is going up. All the things that we have to pay for are going up too, and utilities and all of that stuff. So and our student population is declining, and there's really no end in sight. Like the forecast for that is just that they're declining, and we get a lot of money for our budget comes from the per pupil spending. And so, we lose students to charter schools, to homeschooling, to other districts. But a lot of it is because people aren't having as many babies as they used to. So the birth rate is a lot lower than it has been in the past. And housing prices, people are moving out of Salt Lake with families, like they're moving to Tooele and West Valley and Kearns, places where they can afford to live. So there's a lot of that. But we are rebuilding West High School and Highland High School, and that bond passed, and it's good because those schools were not cut out for the future of learning, and they needed to be replaced. So they needed to be rebuilt. I know a lot of people complain about the exorbitant cost of it, but it's construction and everything. So, but anyway, June 2nd. Okay, thanks.
Great, thank you so much. Any other public comment to be brought forward? Okay.
Of course, it's me. Is the city doing anything about our animal population, meaning the raccoons? Do you know over on North 10th and Redwood Road, the rats are insane. So knowing they're moving this way, they're going to be here. My dogs have been attacked twice by raccoons. I've been face to face with a raccoon, and it got ugly. I can't let my dogs out tonight because there's raccoons. Are they monitoring that or doing anything about that kind of wildlife? My yard's destroyed from gophers or moles, one of the two. It's over on 7th South, and it's so sad.
As far as I know, the city does not partake or controls, has any, we don't manage like pest
Are they
control
monitoring it or
I can help. Let's talk afterwards. I can help. I'm our nature.
I would assume that we would contact the county.
I've got a.
No, it's
not.
It's state.
State. Some humane deterrents that could work for raccoons.
I've got the friendly little traps. I'm gonna put traps down because my dogs are too small.
No, deterrents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like to trap and get rid of them, I'll do anything.
Not to trap and get rid of, to deter them from your yard. Because they live here. They live along the river, So, they're urban wild.
They just didn't know about it.
Yeah. Is there anything wrong? We can talk to if there's anything wrong in that area.
But again, because they're wild, it's not a city, and then county doesn't deal with them as well. So
Yeah, it's the Wildlife Resources Division. That's state.
DWR won't, but the U.S. Force they have a program because we've caught them and called them, and they'll come and take them. So
right,
and they'll kill them.
No,
I mean,
well,
it's a farm.
And so they recommended only going for a private company for any removal that wasn't already like deceased animal. They told me that neither service would touch them.
okay.
So, but
And that must have been really recent. I mean, because we were doing this as soon as November last year. So maybe we're not calling the right. Anyway, well, I don't think we have the answers for that to this week, but thank you for bringing that attention.
Rats are getting bad, but
Any other public comment before we wrap things up? Well, I appreciate everybody coming out and going a little bit longer than normal, but we had a lot of important things, and you guys had a lot of questions, so it's your fault that we went long. So thank you again. Next month, we will be joining with Glendale Community Council on June 17th at the Glendale Library. Won't have another meeting here until August. So thank you all so much and have a great day.